Ray Fuentes and Jake Claver just talked. You can now watch that interview live on X, and we have clips of him talking about Ripple and XRP that you need to hear. What did I learn about the changes to Basel at the end of the movie? What do these changes have to do with XRP? What might this mean for people who own XRP? Let's talk about everything. I hope you're having a good week. Let's get it. The Clarity Act should be passed by the end of the year, according to Senator Loomis. It would be wonderful if that could be done so that the whole group of assets could be used. Just one more thing. If you haven't heard of the Clarity Act, it's the name of the U.S. crypto law that Congress is still working on. The Genius Act was passed and made official. Now we need digital asset regulation to figure out which cryptocurrencies belong to which groups and which agency, like the SEC or the CFTC, will be in charge of them. A lot of businesses and groups move in. These groups buy up sites and from. Things just happen there. All of these trade, DeFi, and crypto things will be put together. People who have a lot of money should buy this asset class if the volatile price stays high. It's crazy to think that the crypto winter is over. Things like these are now moving very quickly through the snow. At the moment, the XRP in our hedge fund is worth just over $200 million. It's being used in a few different plans that let us pay people in cash every 3 months. As a digital wealth partner, you must not lose XRP. The second rule is the same as the first one. The end goal is to be a big, well-known bank where each customer is more than a number, not just another BlackRock. Japan has had times when interest rates were zero over a long period of time. They are crazy to pay you to borrow money from the bank. What do you think that means for the fintech companies that are making the tools for these new types of assets or technologies? What do you think? This is based on how close they are to Tether. I like this company, Ripple Labs. Okay, so Ripple has its own secure coin, right? ROD is theirs. Their own are the only ones around. A check is being done. They are having a good time. It's about how Ripple used to build some of their systems without our LUSD because they only had Tether and USDC. Then that's what he meant. In the same way that we hired Jack McDonald to run that, Ripple used them. He's putting that up more than once, as you can see. I think the end of the reverse carry trade will be good for Ripple and help it do well. I also think that SBI and a few other groups may be able to help them along the way. I believe they will smell lovely when they're done. Right above the heart is where your XRP pin is. Jake, tell me about XRP before I let you go. I think there will come a time when not everyone can get this. If it really does become the backbone of the banking system, it will be hard to find. How a lot of people move money around the world, and there is less and less of it every day. What's up, family and friends? Let's keep going. Hey there, Brad Garlinghouse. Here is an interview Brad did a few months ago. Some of the things he says in it really hit home for me right now. I'll tell you why I thought this was important to share with you after we play it. Before these outside forces that I would call not natural happened, the second most important digital thing was still there, or maybe even something moral in the page. I think you can see that change now, though. When everyone has the same chances, it's like holding a basketball underwater for a long time and then letting go of it. The ball goes up. Why does this surprise us, though? There was water around it, but now it's coming up. Yes, I must say that it does make me feel a little better, but I think we should keep an eye on these for a long time. I back the people who work at Ripple. We know that. While XRP's worth has gone up, we try to keep in mind what we're making and how it fits into an internet based on value. XRP can be a big part of this kind of internet that moves really quickly. Do you agree that XRP is important for Ripple's businesses? You can get cash whenever you need it with Ripplet. Both of those things can be done with XRP. That's all Ripplet is, a chat service. But you can use XRP to settle deals right away, right? It looks like Ripple is doing pretty well when it comes to sending messages, trying to beat Swift. Ripple couldn't do much for a long time because the SEC sued it. This is what he meant when he said the basketball held up for a long time beneath. You finally let go of the ball when the case is over, and it rises to the top. The same thing is happening to XRP. It's interesting how Brad and the rest of the Ripple team always think about what's coming next. We know that tokenizing financial markets and processes will take a long time. So I looked into what will happen in the next 10 years. How long will it really take to go through all of the world's stocks, bonds, swaps, and real estate? There are many experts who believe this could take a long time. We might only have 5 or 10% of these places on chain in 10 years. How can we get that done faster? We all want it to go faster, right? You need G20 to make that happen faster, right? In these countries, the G7 needs to have working groups that meet to talk about laws and rules. It is simple for money to go from one country to another. Everyone needs to follow the same laws or laws that are very similar to them. You need that too when you sell a business or a house. Is that what you want to put on the blockchain? You have the real thing and a digital twin, which is a computer copy of it. When that is sold, it needs to be changed in real life and on the blockchain. And that's where some of the slowdown has been to fix that everywhere. That's why Chainlink is here. Ripple and XRP are on their way. In their own ways, these different businesses are working together to make this happen. All of these different items will be able to work together. It's impossible for one thing to rule them all. We definitely want XRP to be worth more than Bitcoin. I believe we will succeed. Let's end this now. Yes, Kin is trying to separate some of the guessing from the use case. Think about what it will be worth in the end. It's my job, though, to look at flow funds that have been buying stocks for more than 20 years. When there isn't a big reason for new money to come in, prices go up because people want to buy. It is clear that we have been talking about these ETFs. At least a few $100 billion will be lost in Bitcoin ETFs over the next few years because I still think that people don't want them very much. This is especially true as people move on to other investments. Then you talk about demand from something like a reserve, in my opinion. I believe there would be a lot more interest then. People want even ETFs. People who were very limited in who they could buy something made setting the price of something very interesting. It will be fun to find the price here for a while. It's been fun to be able to find prices for a while now. Professor Smoke Dog at the University of Basel said that Ripple could replace some parts of the network that banks use now. What we did was throw this at our friend Perplexity. We did need to see more details and know what compatibility meant, of course. This part of the text shows that Ripple should definitely work to standardize methods and interfaces so that synchronizing databases together works better. This is very important because it uses a better method than before to connect weak financial networks and make it easier to do business across borders. This is what XRP and Ripple do. Dr. Fabian Shahar, a professor, says that Ripple and XRP could replace some parts of the current banking system. Ripple solutions, such as XRP system, are quick and cheap, which is good for banks that need to keep up with the times, especially when it comes to sending money to other countries. Because of this, their unified method is compared to R3 projects. When it comes to pushback, censorship, and user control, the professor says these shouldn't be confused with public blockchains. That's why R3 is more of a private record, even though some of these banks want to work with the public. There's no way you'd want the public to see everything your bank does, but banks can use Ripple's technology to do some things. I think some of that will start to happen in the next few years. I also saw this post. In its letter from August 20th and 25th, the Basel Committee supports XRP as a safe way for banks around the world to take out cash. Take the group out for a drink. Let us see what this means. To be a part of that group, you need to have XRP. Crypto assets have to meet strict rules for recognizing hedging. Some of these are trading ETNs, having futures or ETFs,